Celotines on mic, Celoviews on air once again, bringing you another episode here with a special guest, someone I've known for years now, Marlon Martinez, owner of Akita Printing. What's up, man?
Thank you, Marcelo. Thank you for the invitation. And it's a blessing to be here.
No, it's a blessing to have you, honestly. Definitely thank God for, making this possible. We've been talking about it for about maybe like more than 2 months. Ever since you told me, ever since I saw you post, Akita Printing, bringing that out there on Instagram, seeing that you have taken this step, alongside, other people that are growing here in the DMV, which brings us together here at Leo's studio, Soundspace Studio here in the Aero Park. Definitely appreciate Leo for giving me the opportunity to be here once again. Set of Views is a podcast that's growing, and it's special and a blessing to have you on it and to be able to make this possible, with all the tools and everything we got here. We always make it work when you have the heart to do something. It shows, and I've seen it. I've seen it with your vision. I've seen it with your growth, man. Known you since 2012, and you were like in 6th, 7th grade, and I think I was a junior. We had recently moved, and we were right next door neighbors, man.
Yeah.
Growing up with you was, it felt very genuine because, you were my next door neighbor, and you were more mans with my brother Fabio. You guys clicked off, and we're making it happen here. On your first podcast. With your mental, with the mental growth you've done so far, I mean, I'm just very proud of you, man. Because when I knew you as a kid, man, like,
thank you.
I've seen you grow. So, it's a blessing to have you here. Tell me about some memories that you may have, man, with Fabio, with us. I mean, growing up here in Watkins Mill, man, it's tough, and for you to decide, for you to stay away from certain things, only shows the type of man you are. So,
hey, thank you.
It's a blessing to have you here once again.
Number one, I just want to say thank you for those words. I really appreciate you saying those things. And, like you said it, we go way back. It was always been the chemistry about, it all came down to the sport first. We knew that, I played soccer. That.
Yeah, soccer, football.
Yeah. We played soccer, so all we did was put on our cleats, get a ball, and it just started growing from there. I mean, you also saw me too, as you said we used to be neighbors, so we used to hang out every single day, literally every single day outside, just playing, chilling, growing as friends. But yeah, I mean, honestly, going back to what you said about, you see me my growth. I mean, I've seen you guys grow too. You see me, you guys have been like big brothers to me. You guys, always cheer me up, trying to get to where I should be, because you guys see exactly what my vision is and focus. And I really appreciate that. That takes a lot for somebody to like grab someone who's like they just met and be like, you're my little brother type wing. But you also saw my page too when I just started a business. I mean, I just wanted to make something where I was just creative, because that's something I like being. I like being creative. I have like some things like in my imagination where I feel like I can just put it onto something. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I want to like maybe one day just gain profits off of it, because I mean, if I'm smart and I actually see like piece this down, what are the next steps? What can it take? Instead of focusing on all that takes a long time or all stuff like that, I'm just, I want to make things happen. So yeah, you see me in my growth, I started off with just posting random shirts for random people. Honestly, shout out to number one. My first number one is always going to be in my heart. My favorite customers have been the people from Deck Impact. They've always been consistent with always ordering merch, always believing in me, even when they knew that, this was just the first steps that this kid like is trying to do. They were always there, and they were always patient with me. So I always got to say thank you for everybody from Deck Impact. Shout out to them. And yeah, you just see now I'm just getting orders after orders after orders. A lot of clubs around here and get in contact with me, and it's crazy because I don't really have to go out there as much as I used to, where I'd be like, hey, I'm this guy. Now I'm getting clientele, and it's going up. I mean, to be honest, from a business perspective at first, it was nice because it was like, oh, all these orders are coming in. I'm actually getting my money. But inside of business, any businessman can tell you, or any entrepreneur, like things happen right in the middle of things, and just it's a lot of work. And a lot of people think that you got to get it quick, but you got to understand the concept of a long term goal. You always got to understand, no matter what happens between this time period, go for it. And that's been my motto. And I got a lot of plans, and hopefully I get to inspire more people too, and hopefully, I get into contact with somebody who's like at a high level, anybody, any artist, any rapper, any type of like somebody who's up there. It'd be really like a dream for me.
No, it's special to hear that. Honestly, I mean, you're looking to help people here in the area as well, and and for you to take on this business is special. I mean, especially because you have taken education. You did after Watkinsville High School. You did go into you went to college. I believe you went to
And Goucher College.
Goucher, right?
Shout out to all my people in Baltimore.
And,
y'all saved my heart.
You were looking after, or did you went after? Did you graduate for political science?
Yes, political science. I got
you got a degree for
degrees in
yeah.
political
Tell me about
sciences.
that. Tell me about that process, like being in college and taking onto that, because that's also a step that a lot of people take, and a lot of people do well in, and for you to have the degree is it speaks a lot. Why political science?
Well, honestly, it all comes back to when I was in high school. I wanted to be, ever since I was little, I knew I wanted to be a lawyer. It was just something that just inside me is like, I can just defend somebody in the most professional way. I don't know, it felt like it was suited for me, for my character. So in high school, I was always making sure I had my good grades. I always made sure that I would talk to the people that are at a high level at the school to make sure I'm on the same path, and like just make sure I'm on my stuff, like on my focus. And I just one day, it just coincidentally happened. It was probably from God sent. Just coincidentally, my high school never had this program open, but like once it was time for applying for college, I was the new wave. I was the new wave of the kids that were doing that, where they can get you into college. And I was the first one there. And honestly, it was a process, because there was all these colleges that I kept going in, just applying. They would always say no. They would tell me no, no, no. And it would suck, because some people would get it before you, and you'd be like, man, when is my time? And, some people got it as early as Thanksgiving. Receiving that news and saying that on Thanksgiving, that would really be a blessing. But, I just kept focused on it, kept going and going. And then, like, one day I was able to apply to the school, and I was offered a scholarship 4 years. And it was pretty like a really blissful journey there, because Goucher wasn't really my number one school. Honestly, it was probably sitting at the last. But every single college that I really wanted to go to all said no. I don't think it's coincidental, because things happen for a reason. And this one was probably, even though if I didn't want it, that one was the best one out of all of them. I was able to get 4 years covered. I studied abroad. I went to Sevilla, Spain. It was like everything covered. All my materials, all the housing, everything was covered for me.
How was Sevilla, man?
Oh.
Sevilla, Spain. Whew, and I bet you went to El Bernabeu. And
yeah, I was.
Were you able to go to El Bernabeu being a Madrid fan?
No, I was actually going to, but flights. It was already sold out.
Man, I bet you'll be able to go back and make that happen for sure.
Oh no, it actually fell on my birthday. It actually did, on my birthday weekend. So I had my birthday that whole Thursday. I celebrated, and then Sunday was the game, and we actually won. So I went out there, was watching the games. I went just
different vibe, right?
Just living different. Those people out there really
they're into it. I was talking to someone I know from the gym. He was telling me that he went to a game over there in Spain. He just told me about the atmosphere and how crazy it was for him. So I can only imagine about that, man. Sevilla, and for you to be this smart. Like, I know Fabio. I looked over to Fabio when you mentioned that you wanted to keep your grades up up to date. Keeping yourself with a good GPA. I knew that you always wanted to be aligned. Always wanted to do things that were right. Going to school. Getting the good grades. I mean, for you to maintain yourself, that well grounded from such a young age, like that's to admire, dog. That's so admired because me
Thank you,
myself,
thank you.
like, I could say, school, I feel like I could have taken more advantage of it, but you know, like you said, everything happens for a reason. There's a destiny for everyone, and for the thing is that keeps you going is the drive. The drive that that you continue to have, even though being a lawyer is not it right now, because I'm sure it's in your plans. At some point, it's something that that keeps you going. I don't know if it's something that you still have in mind. Is that something that you see yourself still pursuing?
So yes, of course, because I really went through all of school, and I admire the practice of law and just doing everything of just around that field. But honestly, I just feel like right now I picked up something that interrupted me, and like it just making these shirts and this business that just really inspired me because I'm creative. I'm away from office space. I'm actually being something where I can just like develop something.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I do feel like one day I will come back to the law. Just right now, I'm just focused on this business.
You're on
And
that grind, boy. You're on that
yeah,
grind. Nothing's
I
wrong with
mean,
that. And tell me about the initial beginnings of it. I mean, we got several views right here. Honestly, hit him up. I mean, he did some details to it because he was so knowledgeable about it. Like he said, I needed to do this separate because if I didn't, it wasn't gonna come out right. And the style, the way the song came out is pretty fresh. I mean, he did but the best quality work. And honestly, you gotta hit him up. Hit him up. I believe Fox Auto had a big order,
oh yes,
from you. And
shout out to Fox. He placed a big order. I was like, wow, all right,
and they
let's
came
do
out
this.
nice. Honestly, I
Thank
really
you.
like it. I'm very excited to see where this business goes. Tell me about the beginning stages. Akita Printing. Why name Akita?
All right. So this question right here is probably the question that will always sit in my heart, and it all revolves around my best friend, who unfortunately isn't here with us no more. But he said he created such an impact while he was on this earth with me that even when he left, I have to carry his legacy. That is my dog, who I got when I was in 7th grade. His name is Casper. He was a Japanese Akita. Casper, that's that dude. Oh man,
I remember Casper, man. Big ass dog.
big ass dog.
Super
was
friendly
white.
though.
Yeah,
And white. Yeah, he was super all white. Like
very fluffy, white, friendly,
you had
nothing
him,
harmful.
You had him
just-
young, right?
Yeah, ever since I was in 7th grade,
How old was he? You had him since he was a puppy, right?
he was given to me as a puppy. Yeah, he was just like one day I woke up and my parents were like, "Hey, meet your new friend," and I was just like, "Oh no way!" Like when we looked at each other, it was just like that was it. It was just like he was always near my knee, and I'll be always next to him. Sometimes I duck for my friends to go hang out with him or make sure he, eats or goes out. But honestly, he saw me grow up, go through all these things, make these accomplishments, reach my goals. He always saw me when I was at my down, things in school, personal life. He was always right there next to me, supporting me. And it's just something about a dog. It's just like, it's the loyalty behind it, where it's just like they want to be right there for you. And I really wanted to have him there for me for one of my biggest awards that I've ever got, which is my college degree. But unfortunately, he passed away 4 days right before I graduated. So, I mean, it was a bummer because he was going through a lot of stuff. He was suffering because he had cancer on his back, so he couldn't move. So I had to make sure I was there for him. I mean, honestly, like I was really that day I was really gonna graduate and come back, and I was gonna skip all the parties that were aligned. I was gonna skip all the celebrations and just come with him because I knew his time was coming. But unfortunately, he passed away before that. But it was hard. But hey, I know for sure he's gonna carry me on to this. But the name behind it was just because of his name, and I was just like, if I'm just gonna make a name of something, I want to make it like a name of myself or something that just separates myself from someone else. Like this isn't just your print on demand shirt company. Like this is something that I put my work, my dedication, because I know exactly what this business is about. I started this from zero. I didn't have nobody from my circle, no family, no friend, no close one, nobody. I just picked up YouTube and I said, no excuse. I'm about to pick this up, learn this. Even if I got to take a small loan or anything, hey, rent has got to be due. You got to make this happen. So ever since like I was in YouTube, I would always search up things like how to start a business. They tell you real estate, they do this and that. I'm like, no, but I want to be something creative, something that I can be like, this is my work. So I was like, the shirt business looks like or the fashion business looks like the apparel business just looks nice. So I was like, you know what? I like being creative and let's do this. So I just every single night, every morning, I wake up before I go to exercise. I'm always watching like shirts, like how to make this, what material, what somebody's journey is like to like get a different knowledge of how is his journey compared to mine, how I can use, things like what mistakes he's done. And I just started picking it up and it was nice. I grabbed my first equipment and then just started making this stuff, man. And just, yeah.
You got what was your first equipment that you bought?
So honestly, I was like, if I'm gonna start this, I'm thinking long term. So let me save up some money first. So I put initiating like a good 1,000 of worth of equipment. So I got 3 machines. I had to make sure I got my vinyl cutter, the things that's gonna cut my designs out. I got to do my heat press, what melts the adhesive onto it. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start making hats too. Just start making like sell each a pop, and just start putting random things like names, whatever, what you need. Like, I got you. I can make this happen for you. If not, I can make something that's close to it. And so I got 3 machines and all the materials and stuff like that. Shirts too for 1,000. And so far, I definitely gotten that investment back.
I can only imagine all these other machines that are there to make the quality even better, and
yeah.
I'm pretty sure your vision is like.
Yeah, I didn't want to go for I didn't want to go for like those beginning ones that all these YouTubers like recommend. Like, no disrespect to anybody, I'm just saying that I saw what my story is, that I saw this particular heat press that like I saw its facts and I saw it and I was like, if I'm gonna make something of good quality, I want something that's great quality. Because if I'm about to start, let's make this happen. Let's make the good quality. Let's make a name. Like, let's make this happen. And I got all the good equipment, and so far it's actually come back. So I got luck, and I'm blessed to have clientele.
No, it's all about clientele. Honestly, making the clients happy. And you can only make them happy by giving them good quality work. I was looking at my phone here because it was one thing that caught my eye and that I've noted down. And you were talking about working in Baltimore. It was like you were working for a campaign, right?
Yeah. So I was actually, go ahead.
What was, yeah, because, back to basically your vision, wanting to basically be a lawyer, following the steps, to get to that level. And you were campaigning for Baltimore, for a Baltimore delegate, and for potentially taking a job offer. Again, that drive, man, knowing that an obstacle just hit and picking this up, like, it just, you ain't give up, You ain't give up, dog. You did not give up, and I'm very, very happy about that, because many people can turn, to the different side, It can go south real quick. So tell me about campaigning out there, and then, finally deciding that, this is not it for now.
So what happened is that as part of the political science field in college, you got to make sure you have an internship. And I actually had a teacher who it was a law class. I don't remember what the class and his name was, but it was a law class. And I would make sure that there was assignments going on. I would come in during his like office hours or after class or before class to make sure I got the content, and we kind of grew. And then he was just like, when the semester ended, he was like, hey man, if you ever need something, you please call me back. And it's just like those type of things that when you want to be somewhere and that somebody who's already there tells you, hey, like, I'm offering you help, just contact me. Mm-hmm. That's literally a position for you to be like, okay, let's go, because that's where I'm going to go. I'm going to shoot for the star. I'm going to reach up there at least. And I hit him up and I was like, hey man, I need to do an internship. Can you get me in? And he goes, yeah, definitely. I'm actually campaigning for District 46 seat of the delegate, and I saw him when he first started. It was actually like he had his office space, he had his assistants, his workers, and we kept working together. I would make sure I'd be the one canvassing, going to classes. I mean, going to classes, sorry, but going to houses, knocking on them, leaving his door handle stickers, or
You're
not.
putting in work.
Yeah, I was talking to them, telling them like what he wants to do for the city, what's his agenda, what's your feedback, and have a good day. And we actually did it where when it was time for the election, we won it, and he offered me a job, but I mean, unfortunately, I couldn't because that's all the way in a different city, and
True.
I'm actually making. It's during the time that I'm working here, and it
Mhm.
would be a really big risk for like since he's starting off, it's the budget's not really too big.
Mhm.
So respectfully, I had to tell them I had to respectfully decline because I thought no, I have to stay here. And I mean, one day I will pick it back up, and we have contact with each other, and I wish him good luck. And he's actually doing great. He's actually doing stuff for the area where he's working for, and yeah, they pretty got a pretty good, uh, great leader in there.
No, I'm pretty sure that if you hit him up, he'll be more than happy to work with you. I mean, you
Oh,
know,
definitely.
for you to be already taking lead, for you to already, putting yourself out there as a young ownership of your own, craft, that only speaks. That only speaks. There's a lot of people that know you. There's a lot of people that have grown up to see you just like us. That have seen your growth and that have seen that drive nonstop. So you can only inspire others. Other youngins that are growing up here in the area. That are maybe don't have some of the resources that they should probably come up with. Maybe they didn't focus in school. So if you're listening to this right now, man, and you're in school, like uh, put your mind to it, man. Put your mind to actually focusing and figuring out what you want to study. What you want to be, what you want to create. Because when you get to a certain age, like after the 18th year, after you graduate high school, it can only it depends. Like you depend on those decisions. You depends on the decisions that you make between the ages of 17 and 18. You know, um, I feel like not many people are well grounded at that age, and we always want to swerve, party, do this, do that, which is cool, like, but it's like it's a time to get a lot of knowledge. It's a time to allow your brain to process, the right things, like eat right, you know, hit the damn gym, honestly, because that's something I didn't do. Lately I've been doing it, and it's been keeping me aligned. Giving me some type of peace, keeping me as sane, and it feels good. So if you do certain things at an early age, you can only benefit from it. You know, uh, where can we find Akita Printing on Instagram? How can we contact you? Because if you're listening to this right now, honestly, get your mind to it. This podcast is about growth. This podcast is about genuine talk. Bringing in people that want to go ahead and grow and to have something inspiring to talk about. Not just inspiring, but a craft of their own. It's a craft of your own.
Yeah,
And
that's what it
and it's
is.
special, honestly, because you don't only make shirts now. You're looking at other things like cups. You're creating. It's like it could be cups. It could be hats. Fashion is fashion. And continue doing what you're doing. Again, I hit him up, looked him up on Akita Printing. Uh, Talk about the some of the how can we find you on Instagram or on any other.
So you can definitely find me on TikTok, Instagram. I'm accepting orders through via DM for right now. As soon as we keep going up and establishing like maintaining like a good routine, we're definitely gonna open our own line for people to call us, and we can make this much more faster. But definitely right now, Instagram. That's where I'm sending it. You can we get in contact with each other. I basically ask you, hey, what is it you need? How much? What are these colors? What is your design? You send it to my Gmail, which is akitaprinting@gmail.com. And we work on it. And I make sure that I ask you questions because I need to make sure all the details are all straight and all one so that I can deliver you your best experience. And definitely hit me up on Instagram. My colors are black and gold. The color behind it was
good, bro. Like honestly, I feel comfortable in this shirt.
Yeah,
I feel good.
It's 100%.
The logo's fresh.
Ring spun cotton right there.
Yeah.
I always make sure I got you the best quality of material, shirts, and just service overall. Because the service is what really attracts me. Because I got to make sure from a personal level, you count on me for the service. I got to make sure I deliver to you.
You know, and that's what makes it special, man. Hit him up, Akita Printing. You know, a special shout out to, Dick Impact as well. And Air Park Towing and Auto Repair, as well as Air Park Auto Body. If you guys ever need a tow or any type of roadside assistance, if you guys are ever on a collision, God forbid that, just make sure you hit us up at 301-948-7997. Again, that's 301-948-7997. Any special message out there to the youth, man? Anybody that's listening, to your mom? I mean, we're still in the month of May, and it's. She's kept you, she's molding you to a very, very good young man, I feel like you always listen to your mom, like, if you ain't listen to your mom, bro, I remember.
If you ain't listening to your mom, I don't know what you're doing. All I'm saying is that.
You love her, right? You love your mom.
But my mom, I was always raised by great people. Of course, it was always ups and downs, but I always make sure that my character is to learn from other people's mistakes and mine's too, because you got to look at it both ways. And I was raised right with the great lessons, and I'm always blessed for the people up top that were always been there for me and there for the great times and bad times. But honestly, if there's anything that I can close off to say this to all the youth out there or somebody at whatever age that you're at, all I'm saying, I'm going to tell you is stay true to yourself. Don't compare yourself to other people, because when you start this, that's the time you start comparing yourself to other people. But you got to understand, you got to understand the concept of a long-term goal. This is a every day, every fight. If you start off the year, that's 12 months. Think about it. That's like a boxing match. You got to make sure that out of the whole fight, you win at least your rounds. You're always going to take some hurt ones, but out of all 12 ones, hey, you go 7-5 or even 6-5, or 6-6. I'm going to say sorry, but
what you're saying is making sense.
Yeah,
like, you fall 7 times, you get up 8.
Yeah, you just go at it every single day. Ask questions, stay true to yourself, and just give it your best. Because if you want to make a name out of your franchise, you got to make sure it's your best. Because at the end of the day, you got your own self, and
stay true to yourself.
Be grateful to people around you too.
Be grateful, yeah. Be grateful, definitely be grateful. I appreciate you being here with Cello Views, giving me the opportunity to bring, your brand onto it. It's special. It only means a lot to me. Special because I've just seen your growth once again. I go back to the growth. Dog, that's what this life is about. If you ain't fucking learning, if you're not learning every day goes back to zero. I was listening to this guy named Jocko. Who cares what you did yesterday? Who cares? Like, I mean, yeah, you should care. It does mold you, right? But you can't go back to it.
Yeah, the past is the past.
So the vision, forward. You keep going forward. That's what it's called, a vision, because you see it and it's way ahead. So I'm excited to see what's next. Anything you want to add on to the podcast before we roll out?
Yeah, I just want to say, I just want to give some shout outs before I leave,
ahead,
of course.
Take all the shout outs you want, dog.
All right, number one, I already told you guys it's going to be Deck Impact. Always number one in my heart.
You got their number on heart?
Huh?
You got their number?
I got their number. I can get that for you.
Straight, dog. No, Deck Impact, hit them up. Very good deck.
Definitely. You need any deck restoration, they got you for sure. And they're opening up more expansions on their property. So on their property restoration. So definitely for sure hit them up. Number two, one of the great leaders that ever since I was little, he brought me into many times. He's very known here too as well as Marcelo Tito from Air Park. That guy definitely for sure sits in here. If you're listening to this, man, you're the best. Number three is my people from MSP, everybody from Baltimore, all the people up there too. And thank you, Marcelo Views. You're the best.
Nah, man, thank you. Thank you for again. If you're listening, you can only learn more. And we hope to hear you, on the podcast in the future. If you ever want to get on
For
it,
sure,
hit me
definitely.
up. If you ever want to talk, we're here to listen. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
With that being said, again, I appreciate you. Akita Printing on the clock.
Let's go.
There's not stopping it. The only thing that's stopping the clock is yourself when you don't want to do something. So, again, I appreciate you.
gotta do
Stay
something.
blessed. Set
Do
views
something.
off the air.